I'm hungry. Should I have something to eat? Yes. Should I eat some fruit? I'm thirsty. Should I have some fruit juice? No, Rowie, you can't have fruit because it makes you fat. I've heard that all of my life. I've been an exercise professional all of my life, and sometimes people scream at me, don't eat fruit, it's sugar and it makes you fat. It's bad for you. I'm the opposite. I was brought up with an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and you need to eat 2 or 3 pieces of fruit every day because it's high in nutritional value, it's high in fibre, it's natural sugar, and it's really good for you. So who to believe, who's right, and should you be eating fruit? I think there's a great question to be asked though. Do you like fruit? And if you don't like it, why would you eat it? All food is made of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. They're the macronutrients. That's what makes macronutrients. And they're the things that you need to survive. So fruit is a carbohydrate. It's made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So you can live on it. If you were going to die if you didn't eat any food and you came across a bag of sultanas, yum yum, Australian sultanas. I love dried fruit because it means I don't like throwing things away. And often if you buy fruit and you don't eat it, you have to throw it away. So I buy lots of dried fruit. You know, people say to me, you shouldn't eat dried fruit, it's too high in sugar and it's really bad for you. Well, there's a couple of things there. Do you like it when people tell you what to eat? I don't. I like to eat what I like and what suits me. And if you go a step backwards, why do we eat food? Isn't food about giving you energy for 4 things? I always say I eat for performance, I eat for a stack of energy, I eat so I look good and feel good, and I want my eating plan to give me the results that I want for my life. So I want to be able to go and do all the things that I can do, so I need to fuel to do that. So how do you want to fuel? And the great question that I always ask is, if you were your own high performance eating coach, what advice would you give yourself? Not advice would you take from somebody else, but what do you think is the best way for you to eat? What do you like to eat? What don't you like to eat? What are the best times of the day for you to eat? Where do you like to eat? How do you feel if you eat? How do you feel if you don't eat? Are you on track or off track to getting the results that you want from your eating plan? And do you need to change anything? They're the questions that I've always asked my clients, and I've been a results coach all of my life. Now, if somebody doesn't like fruit, I don't tell them they have to eat fruit. I would never tell anybody what to eat. But we need to find something that has the same nutritional macro and micronutritional value. And that's the interesting thing about fruit, is it has, yes, vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, and fibre. But if somebody doesn't like fruit, well, we need to find something else. It might be vegetables. People don't like vegetables, they might need to eat fruit. If people don't or can't afford to buy expensive fruit, maybe we need to buy dried fruit. This one's a real classic because a lot of people think that prunes is just if you can't go to the bathroom, you need to eat some prunes. I think my mum told me that when I was a little girl. But I've got some South American friends who this is a normal part of their diet. They love to eat dried plums, which is prunes. So what's going to work for you rather than other people telling you what to do? And if you have a stack of energy, you're performing at your best, you love what you see in the mirror, and you're getting the results that you want from your eating plan, surely you're doing the right thing. You don't need to change anything. If you're not getting the results that you want, if you don't have a stack of energy, if you're not performing at your best and you don't like what you see in the mirror, what do you think you need to change? Not, I'm going to stop eating fruit because a social media influencer told me that fruit's bad for me. I just listened to a woman recently say that grapes were as bad as eating lollies. And she probably believes that, and she has every right to believe that. I live in one of the most beautiful wine growing areas of New Zealand, and the grapes here are absolutely magnificent. Most of them are made into wine here, and I don't drink wine, so I try and capture them before they get squashed and put into a wine bottle because I love grapes. I love grapes. I live in the best stone fruit growing area of New Zealand. So cherries and apricots and nectarines and peaches and plums, and they're just awesome. And to be able to eat fresh fruit off a tree, for me, is one of the most delightful things in my life. Now, the interesting thing about too much of anything, so if you drink too much water, you can die. Not many people do, but there are some people that have died from drinking too much water. If you don't get enough water, you'll die. So there's somewhere in between is the right amount of water. If you drink a glass of alcohol every day, you have a glass of wine, you have a whiskey or a bourbon or whatever, 1 or 2 glasses a day, it's been suggested that could add value to your health. But if you get drunk and you become an alcoholic, that could kill you. So obviously it's somewhere in between. If you eat too much food, you'll get fat. If you don't eat enough food, you'll die. So obviously we need to find a balance in there somewhere. Now fruit's a classic for that, because if you eat 2 or 3 pieces of fruit, you'll probably feel fantastic. If you like fruit, that is. If you eat too much fruit, you'll end up with a horrible toilet experience and probably a tummy ache. So what's the right thing for you, not what somebody else tells you to do. Will fruit make you fat? Well, anything will make you fat if you eat too much of it. So your body has the capability of turning everything or storing everything you eat in your fat cell in one way, shape or form. So if you eat, fat's already fat, so that's pretty easy to put into your fat cell. Your body doesn't have to do too much to turn fat into fat and put it in your fat cell and store it in there. But if you eat too much carbohydrate, if you eat too much fruit, for example, if you've got too many calories and your body doesn't know what to do with them, you can only store about half a kilo of carbohydrate. So your body says, well, we better turn these pieces of fruit, we don't need them right now, so we'll put them in the storage tank, we'll put them in the fat cell. So your body will go through the process of turning carbohydrate into fat. It's a complicated process. About 30% of the calories that you eat to then convert it into fat will be burnt up just in the conversion process. Fruit can make you fat if you eat too much of it. Too much bread, too much meat, too much chocolate, too much hot chips, anything that you get too much of, your body will very happily convert it into fat and store it in your fat cell. Your body's very good at doing that. So if you've got too much fat on your body, it means maybe eat a bit less, move a bit more. I know people don't like to hear that because it's just so boring and so uncomplicated. And I heard a great quote today. I said to Phil when he shared that with me, I'm going to use it. If it was more complicated, more people would understand. It seems that we want it to be complicated. We don't want it to be simple. The exercise process is really simple. Get puffed to get fit, lift heavy to get strong, do it safely so you don't get injured, and do it quickly so you don't get bored. That's how simple the exercise process is. Surely food's the same. If you like fruit, eat it. If you don't like fruit, don't eat it. Find something else. Eat what you like. Don't eat what you don't like. I always ask the question, why would you waste calorie energies on food that you don't like? Why would you put stuff into your mouth to eat that you don't like? It doesn't make any sense to me. So eat what you like. Don't eat what you don't like. Eat when you're hungry and stop eating when you're full. Now that process has become very complicated because it's an emotional process for some people. But if you've got a healthy endocrine hormonal system, hormones control your emotions, yeah? If you're healthy, fit and strong, your hormonal system will be healthy. So you'll start eating when you're hungry and you'll stop eating when you're full. You'll eat at a time of the day that suits your body, not somebody else's. And there's all this stuff now about 3 meals a day, 5 meals a day, intermittent fasting, 16-hour window, 18-hour window, eat every second day. How about eat when you're hungry and stop eating when you're full? Should I eat breakfast? Well, are you hungry at breakfast? No, well, don't eat breakfast. Eat when you're hungry. Stop eating when you're full. Eat the amount that suits your body. And those 4 questions: do you have a stack of energy? Are you performing at your best? Do you love what you see in the mirror and the way your body feels to touch? And are you getting the results that you want? If the answer is yes, keep doing what you're doing. If the answer is no, you might need to make some changes. But you decide those changes, not some expert, some guru, some social media influencer. And I always ask this question: if there's 100 people and they all went on exactly the same eating plan. So let's say you think you've got the perfect eating plan and you shouldn't eat fruit because it makes you fat and it's bad for you, it's got too much sugar. So let's just say you put people on an eating plan, 100 people, and they don't eat any fruit because it's bad for them. And they all eat exactly the same food, the exact same amount of calories at exactly the same time of the day. At the end of a week, month or a year, will they all look the same? Oh, of course not. Some people might have dropped out of the program because they didn't like the food you were feeding them. There's a good place to start. Some people will have dropped out of the program because you're telling them to eat at a time of the day that doesn't suit them, so they can't keep doing it. There's a great question about any eating plan. Can I do this for the rest of my life? If you don't want to eat that way for the rest of your life, why would you start? I'm going to go on intermittent fasting. I'm going to go on a vegan vegetarian diet. I'm going to be a carnivore. I'm going to, and there's lots of different diets you can go on, but can you do that for the rest of your life? And if the answer is no, why would you start? What can you do for the rest of your life that's going to keep you healthy, fit, strong, lean, energetic? Pick a size, pick an energy level and stay that way for the rest of your life. I think it's really sad when people say to me, I want to lose weight, and then they find it again and they lose it and they find it again, they lose it and they find it again because they're on some kind of crazy diet, crazy eating plan. Here's a funny one about fruit, and I'll just add this as a side note. There are lots of diets where it is just eat fruit only. Have you heard that? Eat just lemon. My mother used to cut open a lemon every morning, and she would eat the middle of the lemon out, and then she'd rub the lemon rind on her face. Now, my mother died at 98 years of age with hardly any wrinkles, so maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Try it if you want to. But my husband, who's got a very good sense of humour, used to say to my mum with her lemon, because there are lemon detox diets where that's all you eat, just lemon. So if lemon was going to kill you, those people would all be dead. But anyway, Cayman used to say to my mum, that thing that you rub on your face, because she'd say, yeah, it's really good for my skin. And I drink the lemon juice because it burns fat inside my body. That was the reason why she was eating the lemon. Cayman used to say, well, why don't you get the lemon rind and rub it on your fatty bits? Because maybe if it burns fat from the inside, it'll burn fat from the outside. There's so many crazy ideas and concepts and people preaching and telling and don't do, can't have, mustn't have, don't have. But I always ask, what's going to work for you? Now, obviously, I love fruit. I eat, like I said, a lot of dried fruit because I then don't have to throw it away. It lasts a long time inside my fridge. I'm a big fan of the prune. A lot of people don't like these, but I love them. You eat what you like, hey? This is the last of the stone fruit in the South Island of New Zealand because we're coming into winter time now. So I'm going to enjoy these last few. And when they come back next summertime, I'm going to thoroughly enjoy them because I love my food. I eat when I'm hungry. I stop eating when I'm full. I eat all the foods that I love. I eat none of the things that I don't like. And I want to be a healthy, fit, strong, lean, energetic old lady. And that's what I am now. I'm fitter and stronger and healthier and leaner than I've ever been in my whole life. I love my life and I fuel myself effectively to suit my life. How about you? What are you going to do so that you eat what suits you, so that you've got a stack of energy, you perform at your best, you love what you see in your mirror, you love the way your body feels to touch, and you get the results that you want so that you can live your life to the max. Super duper doo, how are you? Living my life to the max, eating whatever I bloody well want. Woohoo!